calling all the heroes. Yes, it's the next episode with Lex McKee of the Becoming Heroes series, Transforming Tuesdays. Transforming Tuesdays. And today's theme is, when are you from? It's a question posed in a fascinating series on Netflix called Travelers. Spoiler alert, it's about people who come from the future, where their future is not amazing, to change the present by taking over the bodies of people who are just dying. Ooh. However, part of the plot is the question, when are you from? Not where are you from, when are you from? And it's a great question for entrepreneurs. When are you from? If you're not thriving in the present, driven by a compelling and clear vision of the future, then you've lost direction and you've lost momentum. If you ask this question of any entrepreneur, when are you from? The answer should be without hesitation, I am from the future. Dan Sullivan, my favourite coach for entrepreneurs earning over $100,000 a year, has this book called The Dan Sullivan Question, and I'm directing you to his book because it will move you forward. The Dan Sullivan Question is this: if we were having this conversation 3 years from now, looking back, what has to have happened, both personally and professionally, for you to be delighted with your progress? And Dan's book is all about moving you on from your answer to that. Now, as an entrepreneur, I hope you can answer that question really quickly. Let me give it to you again. If we were having this conversation 3 years from now, looking back, what has to have happened both personally and professionally for you to be utterly delighted with your progress? As an entrepreneur, you are driven by your future vision. And when Dan asks this question, if somebody can't answer that quickly, it's an indication to him that they haven't yet got a compelling future. Of course, everybody has a future, but they're not future driven. And you need to be future driven to really get the most out of Dan's signature program, Strategic Coach. So I hope you'll get the book, and I hope you can answer that question with confidence, with clarity, and with conviction. Reality check time. Most people I talk to don't have a clear understanding of their why, their purpose, their mission, their vision in life. And that's where I come in. I have a system, yes, a system and a process that guarantees you find the right direction for your future so that you can say with confidence, I am from the future. By working together, we can build a map to the future that's going to give you a bigger, better, brighter, bolder vision of what's possible. And it's a realistic one. Until you have a clear and certain vision of the future, you're from the present, or even worse, from the past, and this will not serve you. If you want that bigger, better, brighter, bolder vision of the future, you must create a compelling image of it that your brain can seize hold of and put into effect the actions necessary to make it so. This is not as strange as it may sound, because most of us have done it with something called a mortgage. A mortgage is a clear and compelling vision of freedom in the future when you own your house, where you borrow from a near certain future to enjoy the present. You borrow from your near certain earning potential to enjoy living in the home of your dreams right here, right now. I recognise it may not yet be the home of your dreams, but you get my point. We're going to do exactly the same. We're going to borrow from a clear, near certain vision of the future to enrich your living experience right here, right now, in the present. If you decide, if you choose to work with me, if you decide and choose to collaborate, we are going to work to a plan. And that plan has 2 acts, like a play. Act 1 is the pre-story clarification, and Act 2 is the post-story clarification. Both acts are very different, and they have different steps, milestones, that we're going to work through together. If you like the sound of this, you'll look back on this video and think, that was the prologue to my new life story. It's exciting. Get excited. Get your catchers out. Get ready for some revelation. The shape of things to come. If you've ever done Dr. Susan Dellinger's shape test with me, you've already predicted your future focus. If you choose from these 5 shapes now, we can predict your attitude towards time. So the 5 shapes, to remind you, are the box, the triangle, the circle, the squiggle, and the rectangle. Let me give them to you again. The box, the triangle, the circle, the squiggle, and the rectangle. If you had to choose one, which would you choose right here, right now, as your first preference? Let's not go on until you've made that choice. If you chose the box first, your focus is primarily, when it comes to time, on the past. If something hasn't worked in the past, that's your evidence that it's unlikely statistically to work in the future. This does not mean that you do not have a future. It just means that you're cautious in the way you approach the future, and your attitude to the future is always based on your past experience. It's very logical, it's very sensible, and it's very slow. If you approach your future vision like this, you're going to make slow and steady progress. But if you were to have the right plan, we can accelerate your progress safely so that your future is assured. If you chose the triangle, then you're already enjoying a focus of the future, because triangles like to get to the point, and you are pointing to a brighter, better, bolder, bigger future. Triangles focus on getting to the point, getting to the outcome, getting to the results. My suggestion to you is that sometimes with that arrow-like focus, that pointed head of the arrow, the triangle, zooming into the future, you can have some collateral damage with your relationships. So as you pursue the future with vigor and boldness and courage, make sure you carry people along with you in that rapid flow towards your target. If you chose the circle, top marks. I understand your compassion. Your progress towards the future involves those who travel with you, because you have a circle of friends and a circle of influence. And keeping everybody happy, or at least most of the people happy most of the time, is going to take a lot of energy and a lot of effort. It will be slow progress. I've got a word of warning for you from your future. Real progress and real change means changing your circle of friends and changing your circle of influence. You don't have to say goodbye to everybody, but some people will not move forward. So if you want to move forward as an entrepreneur and your frame is the circular frame, you need to think about a change of scene, a change of cast, a change of tempo. All future progress depends upon change. That doesn't mean you have to let go of that wonderful compassion that you're so well known for and valued for. It just means you need to look around you, probably the 5 people you spend most time with, and ask yourself quite a hard question. Do I want these 5 people in my future? Are they moving me and supporting me towards that future? If not, maybe I need a change of scene. And even harsher, there's a prophecy that says, no prophet has honour in their hometown. If you wish to get bigger, better, brighter and bolder, the people that have travelled with you so far may hold you back because they've locked you at a point in time where they see you. So if you want to expand, you want to grow, you want to be bigger, brighter, bolder, better, maybe it's time for a change. If you chose the squiggle, welcome to the present, future boy. Welcome to the here and now, future girl, because you are from the future. As a creative, you make giant leaps forward into your mind as if it's already done and dusted already. Of course, your Achilles heel then is not to do the work in the present, to take the steps that will take you carefully and cautiously, they're not even words you like, are they? Carefully and cautiously. Take you reliably towards the future that you've already imagined as done and dusted. The good news is, with the right plan, with the right map, something we call your map to the future, you can make sure you hit every single milestone you need to get you to the dream that you've already imagineered. And if you chose the rectangle, you are already in transition. You are already changing. And for some people that feels exciting, and for other people it feels exhausting because you're not quite sure what the rules of the game are yet. I've got good news for you. You need a guide, and you need a guide now. And I'm here for you, for the right fee of course, to help you get to a more stable and satisfying future. Call me now. Your future depends upon it. Psychogeometrics, the body of knowledge behind the shapes test by Susan Dellinger, is a great predictor of your best path to future success. Here at Becoming Heroes, we use that, and then we move into 2 other profiling tools to help you find your flow and your fuel. Your flow is that state where you are at your most productive. And for that, we use something called talent dynamics. Your fuel is the energy for your motivation. And for that, we use motivational mapping. Once we understand your flow and your fuel, you really can pick up the pace. The audio version, the podcast version of this vlog is a little bit longer, going into a little bit more, a tiny bit more detail. I'm going to conclude this now by just letting you know the clear steps we're going to take when you decide to work together with me. Step 1, which is pre-story clarification, we're going to do your talent dynamics profile to find your flow. We're going to do your motivational map to find your fuel. And we're going to sit down mind mapping together to clarify your story. What's the story that your brand needs to tell? Once we've got that clear, we can move into Act 2, the post-story clarification. That involves some of our profiling tools again, because you're going to need to find the right team. Talent dynamics then becomes applied as team dynamics, and all of them will need their motivational maps too once we've found your core team to accelerate your progress. Then we're going to really build your map to the future so that you know the milestones you need to take between now and where you want to get to. And finally, I'm going to give you broadcast experience, comfortable training in front of the camera so that you feel confident and compelling and convincing in front of the lens, in front of the microphone, and through blogging as well. So through text, through speech, and through vision, you'll be able to get your story out to your audience. There is a great time ahead for you, a transformational time, which is going to be easier and faster with the right guide. I never forget at Becoming Heroes that you are the hero, I am the guide, and together we can make progress to live the life we have imagined. Thanks for tuning in again. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I look forward to hearing your comments, to speaking with you, to connecting with you, having coffee if possible, and making this happen. Live long and prosper.